Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I just popped on and perhaps I should have done my hair, but I just watched the latest committee hearings. Tomorrow is a full moon in Capricorn, and it's a very powerful moon. And of course the full moon is always about illumination, right? Illumination. And we can connect it to the seeds planted on the new moon, which occurred at the end of June. And by the end of June, we had a lot of information and a lot of things said just before that Cancer moon, that new moon in Cancer, at the end of the cycle of the new moon in Gemini, which also promised to be very powerful. So we're in very, very powerful times, which I don't have to tell you, and you don't have to look at an astrologer or an ephemeris to know, because Jesus, you feel it, right? You feel the difference. You feel the winds of change in the air. And here, where I live, the wind has been blowing all day. So I listen to the wind. I do, and I feel things on the wind, and I sense things on the wind. And there's a freshness to this, but there's also an anxiety to this. So there's a lot of anxiety out there, a lot of reasons to be anxious. Certainly, it's not all in your head. You know, sometimes we can say it's all in our head, but it's not. And so it's really important when you go out there to put your protection up. And it doesn't have to be walking around in one of those vests, right, that the police run around in. That's not what I mean. But your energetic protection, because unless you've decided to be part of some sort of group situation where before you came into this life you said, this is the time, this is our moment, this is what we came to do, and then we get to do something else, right? If you're of that, those are the people who I think have the experience in a way. They kind of agree. Or I would like to think that we agree to those things, right? If we have free will, don't we agree to all of it in a way? So we are responsible for our own reality. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump both showed us and showed us the possibilities of and the limitations of at the same time. So, but I was shifted energetically after watching the hearings. And Jamie Raskin's speech at the end was soul-stirring. And so you can feel the energy in the air. We just had our second Pluto return on the 11th. Wait, what's today? Yeah, on the 11th. Today's the 12th. And sometimes I lose my day, but I'm always looking at the stars, what's happening in the future, so I don't always know what day it is. Anyway, one of the reasons why I do my morning things, because I'm not only telling you, but I'm telling myself what's going to happen. All right, so we'll do a card reading in lieu of what has been revealed in this particular the latest hearing that we heard today, and all the other things. There's other stuff coming out. I want to mention the space telescope that just went up just sent out the first pictures. So that's we're seeing something no man has ever seen before, or woman or anyone. That we know of. It's not true. I mean, we could have been from a higher race in a lifetime and have seen it and know it and know the whole story already. But for us, it's like, woo, right? But that's happening. Gabby Giffords documentary. Gabby Giffords, I won't back down. Movie is coming out, I think today, the 13th, tomorrow, the full moon, in theaters. So, and I think she's especially poignant because of her experience, what she went through. Talk about souls that come in for a purpose. And, you know, she's here to give us awareness of, you know, what's at stake here, and then also the healing power of music, which is in the documentary. You know, accessing that feminine side of the brain, that creative side of the brain, to help her gain her speech back, which she had lost. And so she's a perfect example of using your intuition and those facilities, those faculties, those intuitive right brain faculties to rewire your ability to use your left brain, your speaking brain. So, very interesting. This is all coming out now along with this, and we'll see what else. Because I don't well, I'm not going to say what I personally think. And actually, the more I think about it now, the less likely I am to say it unless I see it in the cards, because it could just be energy moving out of the situation. All right, let's see what's coming up. I'm using the Wildwood Tarot. Yeah, the sun, full illumination, guys. Things are being illuminated, and big time. Yeah, full illumination, guys. The sun is out. What is crossing it? We have the Nine of Bows, which in this deck is respect. Respect. Even seeing the truth, I think this card speaks to us of having to have respect for each other. This is the Eight of Wands. This is about healthy boundaries. This is about respecting other people's boundaries to believe what they want to believe, be who they want to be. It requires us to both have healthy boundaries and yet not necessarily transgress against somebody else's boundaries just because they disagree with us. Let's see what's at the root. We have the Ace of Vessels or the Ace of Cups. This is, the root of it is love. We are loved. This is this whole, even in esoteric studies, the lesson of our solar system, soul, right, our sun, soul's solar system, our bright light is love, second ray, love. And that's what this is, love. This is water pouring forth from that which has made us, that which loves us, that which, the love of the universe, that sound of Om, perhaps. Let's see what's in the past. Foundation. So we've really had to slow down quite a bit, I think. And because of COVID, now because of high prices, we're slowing down again. And it's an opportunity, I think, for us to come to a sense of what's truly important to us. What are we going to base our life on? You know, the Ace of Pentacles is, you know, the promise of life, the promise of manifestation. From the highest realms, the promise of manifestation. But in order to do that, you have to know what is dear to you and what is closest to your heart, right? Let's see what's in the sky. The stag. This is a card of balance. It's a card of strength. It's a card of finding your voice. As above, so below. It's a test of strength. And what is in the sky is that we are being offered the strength that we need. And one of the ways in which you can do that is to work through all of your chakras. Have your voice heard. This is the path on the tree of life, that strength lies in our ability to co-create. Speak your truth. Speak it with love. Don't worry about everybody else. Just what do you love? What is where, when you think of it, you feel love. Think of it and feel love. It's like we're beaming. We're beaming. In the immediate future, we have the Page of Bows. This is the Page of Wands in this deck. There's a weaselly nature to it, so maybe we can't. It's a stoat, actually, which is in the weasel family. But there's a slyness, there's a quickness. This is a message. But it's a message that's given, and this character quickly slinks away. Not a bad deal, because very often the messenger, don't kill the messenger, they say that because the person who has to tell the person not what he wants to hear is the person who's in danger, right? That's why reporting and reporters are being silenced at this time. I mean, one of the most dangerous things to do at this time is to be a reporter, to report what's really happening. And that's something that we really have to look at. It's really big in Mexico, and in Brazil and many other places, I'm sure, that are not coming to mind right now. How it's seen from the outside, we have the Queen of Arrows. This is the Queen of Swords. This is a soulful card. It's about gliding through life, or seemingly gliding through life. And yet if you look under the waves, the swan's feet is always moving through life. So it takes effort. It takes effort to be beautiful. It takes effort to be wise. And I'm not talking about necessarily beautiful, like, look like a model beautiful, but beautiful in that you're clear, your light shines clearly. And that's what she does. And she does it through the mental body. She does it through the mental body. So I feel like there's a message here to sort of cleanse the mind, have it be a receptive sort of vehicle for the light that's coming in, and sort of bring it in without judgment. You can work the energy later, you can ponder it, you can write on it, you can even, argue it if you want, but right now I feel like there's maybe a suggestion to have a crystal clear channel. In our domestic situation, the Knight of Bows, it is a fox, so I think that you have to keep your boundaries up. You definitely have to keep your boundaries up with this guy. But it's a true believer. It's a true believer, so there's not really ill intent. If somebody causes you trouble, it's because they believe either they're saving you or whatever. Which, of course, what's that expression? The road to perdition is paved with good intentions. That kind of thing. So be careful. Be careful. That's all. Hopes and fears. The Four of Bows, celebration. Four of Wands, dancing in the street. Yeah, we'd like to have a celebration, wouldn't we? We'd like to have a celebration when full illumination comes. When full illumination comes. See the outcome? The King of Stones, the wolf. This is the winter. This is wisdom. This is howling at the moon, right? But there's a strength and there's an energy of pack here. This, of course, is probably the alpha wolf, but there is this energy of having to, keep the people you vibrate closest to close to you, I guess. Let's see if we can get a major arcana. The Eight of Vessels, rebirth. The Eight of Cups. The Seven of Cups, mourning. And the Five of Cups, ecstasy. This is one of the nicer Five of Cups. But this can be a frenzy too. It feels to me like an illumination is about to happen, but it's going to freak a lot of people out. That's what it looks like to me. So in order to keep yourself safe, in order to keep yourself from getting caught up in things that are not necessary for your growth, right? Vibrate your light. Vibrate your light. It's so very important that we beam in with love, because reason has gotten us into this predicament. Our thinking mind has sort of gotten us into this predicament. And honestly, the path of the thinking mind in the tree of life is Hod. Hod is associated with Mercury. And the path between Mercury and Tiphareth, or the Sephiroth of the sun, is the Devil card in the tarot. It's Capricorn energy. And Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. And so there has been a power struggle amongst the most powerful. Who's going to take humanity into the future? We can see that the old guard of petrochemicals is fighting an old war on an old enemy with old things, and deadly and awful and terrible. This is a time when we have no choice but to shine our light, folks, and hold the energy of the truth in our hearts. And the truth is not necessarily who you think is going to be the best person, or the best person to be a president or whatever, It's about making sure that love is one where you want to share the best parts of yourself. And to find the best parts of yourself, you have to find them. And loving yourself is the only path, I think, to integrity, to hold it all together. And there is going to be a conjunction of the sun and Mercury. What day is it? I think it's at the end of this week. I think it's on Saturday. You can check out my week ahead. I definitely talked about it, I think. If it happens when I think it does, I talked about it. But it's in Cancer. It's in Cancer, and it's the feeling mind. It's the feeling mind. In its way, you could call it the Ace of Cups, or you could call it the illumination of the path of the devil, the Redeemer. Capricorn, although associated with the Devil card in the tarot, Capricorn is the sign of the Redeemer. And we couldn't have a devil unless we had God. And so there is really no difference, moral judgment on that. It's, where do you want to vibrate? What do you want your life to look like? Do you want to have hardship and the like? I mean, maybe we have the option that other people don't, and we're lucky that way. But if we're that lucky, then we owe it to everybody else, right? To be our best selves, to be our light, to shine bright, to love, to spread love and light. Full illumination. Full illumination, guys. Shine your light. The time is now. I love you guys so much. Thank you so very, very much. My love goes out to my special friend Owen. I know she's going through a little bit of a challenging time with her mom. I know how that feels. I'm sorry if I said something and I shouldn't have, but you know I love you and the communities love you, and it's a deep, deep time of mothers and daughters and mothers. Take care, everyone. Much love. Namaste.